So I have to, thank you. Welcome, everyone. And I have to read this almost word for word because it is our safety briefing. There's a few key pieces in here that we really have to make sure that we get this message across to you, which is down here. So trail running is a dangerous sport and there's a risk of you being injured, lost, dehydrated and just plain exhausted. If you are sick, do not run. I'm sure COVID has taught us all that. Running when you're unwell is extremely dangerous and if you are compromising your safety and others on the course. It's important that you look after yourself and others and watch every step. And we advise you to drink to avoid dehydration. Good quality electrolytes, like over here, thank you, Hammer from Hammer Nutrition. We have Endurolights at all the checkpoints and fizzes as well. So please ask for those who are feeling unwell. Look, there are snakes and, potential for you to twist your ankle is high also. It is important that those who do have a GPS tracker, that you do actually, if you are in the event of an emergency, use the SOS button on that tracker. Don't use that SOS button. Everyone does like to press that, but please don't use it unless you need to. There is a medic hotline, which we want you all to put into your phones now. It's 0400 019 158. This year, the National Park Rangers have noticed the presence of pigs and dingoes in the National Park. Please avoid contact if you see them and do not approach them or feed them. Wait until they move on and off the tracks before you continue. So when you are crossing the roads, you must always give way to cars and vehicles, and you must always have your high-vis vest on if you are crossing that road. It is important that you remove those headphones when you're crossing the roads for your own safety. Please be respectful of the marshals and anybody at the checkpoints. That's really important. So at the any aid station, please use the sanitizer. And we want you all right now to be alert and download the Capra app. That's really important. We have made a few updates on the Capra app in the last week where we've noticed some little changes from the 2022 course that was still on the Capra app. So we've double-checked, triple-checked, quadruple-checked the Capra app. It is correct. So please make sure that app is on your phone now, and please make sure that if you have bookmarked it or gone offline on that app, please make sure that you refresh it now. Really important. I was out marking the course and I noticed that the course hadn't been refreshed, but now it's been refreshed. So just make sure you do that right now. So we do our best to mark every intersection. However, there is a likelihood that someone may take down some course markers across the course. We'll do our best to put them up in a timely fashion as fast as possible. But, if you've got that Capra app, if there is a course marker that has been taken down, just refer to that Capra app. If you haven't seen a marker for 500 metres after a turn, that's probably because you've gone the wrong way. Again, just pull out the Capra app and just check it. If you do think a course has been demarked, please call it into operations. That's really important because then we can save other runners making a mistake on the course. So on Black Cockatoo track, that's the reclaim track. We mark it maybe every 100 metres or so. That's the only place where we really are marking that track more frequently than 500 metres apart. So we have SCS vehicles stationed at the bottom of Black Cockatoo track, and they'll be able to assist you in an emergency. So it's really important that you have it's really important that when you are ringing up, if you have a life-threatening injury or emergency, if you do ring 000, we have QAS ambulance out on the course this year. That means that if you are in a life-threatening emergency and you call 000, please tell the operator you are running the BTU. They will then send our QAS ambulance out to you. So that's really important. It will mean that you'll be responded to in faster time than normal. So the contact numbers are on the back of your bib, so make sure you put those into your phones now. So the 60, 110, 100 mile runners, you'll have a GPS tracker on. So they'll read to about a 500-meter radius. There is a black spot in Gold Creek Reservoir. So just be aware that you're to the support crews that they may not move quickly through known black spots. So just wait a little time, because if a GPS tracker hasn't moved for 20 minutes, then we get a phone call from the GPS tracker company. If we think that a GPS tracker is not working, we usually pick that up by CP1, which is 13 kilometres into a race, and then we will change that tracker for you. There are people who just aren't very good with GPS trackers, and we have to change them at every checkpoint, but we'll try to make sure that your GPS tracker is working, and make sure that that GPS tracker is actually at the top of your running pack, and don't put it at the bottom of your running pack. There's a difference between your GPS tracker and also your foot pod. Your foot pod is for timing only, so that's when you run across a timing belt. And your GPS tracker is for when you're out on the course. So it's two different timing things that we're using. The GPS tracker timing is only good for 500-meter radius. It's not as accurate as a timing mat, and that's why we use two different timing methods. So there is weigh-ins. It's just important that you look after yourself for those weigh-ins. If you're able to explain to our medic at CP2 that you have lost a lot of weight and that's normal for you, that is fine. We've never pulled anyone from a course for losing too much weight at the weigh-in. So that's 110 and 100-mile runners. So just be aware that it's just there as like a safety check, and we're more worried that you've actually put on weight than we know that you definitely have got your electrolytes wrong. So it's really important that when you come up to anybody in the public and you want to pass them, please just say hello to them first. They're more likely to turn around and make space for you naturally, and it's much nicer for you to pass them that way, just to run past them without saying hello. It's just like good track etiquette. So if you do come across another runner on the course and they are injured and really unwell, and you believe you should stay with them, please stay with them. And then we will and the amount of time that you've stayed with that runner on the course, we will deduct that from your overall time. So if you pass a runner on the course and you know that they're injured but they're still moving, please relay that information up to the next checkpoint, and then we'll be able to potentially send someone out to see them and look after them. So it's really important that for your safety, you must be contactable at all times. So if you are running the 110, 100-mile course or even the 60K course, you must make sure that you have enough battery on your phone to last the duration of the race. That might mean that you might need to take a power pack with you. Really important. So this is also important, the reason why we want you guys to all have the Capra app. At any given time on the course, say like extreme winds, extreme flash floods, it's not going to happen. We may have to close any part of the park at any given time, and we will push a notification to you via the Capra app. So and we'll tell you where you need to go. So it's really important that you have that Capra app. And so the Capra, so that evacuation point may be the closest checkpoint, or it may be that you have to turn back. It just depends. So that information will go to you via the Capra app. So please note there's been recent hazard control burns in the national park. And rangers have stated that some trees and large branches have been compromised during this burn, particularly on Township Break, Double Break and Cardboard Loop. Township Break, there's always trees down. I don't think there's anything unusual about that. But it is definitely a little bit less stable than normal. I've put out 2 ropes on Township Break at the bottom. Don't expect that they're at the top, but when your legs are totally smashed, they're right down the bottom for you. Track maintenance has been on Mount Cootha, so Stringy Bark Trail has been resurfaced and it has not been compacted yet. I ran on it the other day and it was quite slippery, especially descending, but you guys are going up it, so you should be fine. But just be aware it's loose underfoot. Yeah. So use supported loos at the checkpoints, or attempt to. And please, if you do need to go off to the bush to have a wee or the other one, please move 15 metres off the course and then dig 20 centimetres into the ground. So there's always mountain bikes on the course, and stop laughing down the back. And look, we're going to have cars out there and there's going to be horses too. So just be aware of your surroundings. So look after each other and be kind to your fellow runner. It's really important. Pass on the right is just good etiquette, and just like pass when it's safe for both of you. Okay, so there's actually it's really important that you guys have what's the app called? The QAS Assist app. Can't find the Emergency Plus app. So if you do call in there's an Emergency Plus app with QAS Ambulance. And so if you have that app downloaded on your phone and you press it, it will give you the GPS coordinates and you can tell that to the operator, but it'll also give the nearest crossroads as well. So that's also really useful information to tell an operator, as well as telling them that you're part of the Brisbane Trail Ultra. Okay, done that. Okay. So it's really important that if you do want to leave the course, especially for 110, 100-mile runners, that you do it at a checkpoint. If you are sagging behind and you're close to cut off, we will have a car that can pick you up if necessary. So call it into the ops room if you want to jump off the course. We'll send someone out to get you. It's really important that when you do get back to a checkpoint, we are not then responsible to take you all the way back to your hotel. So that is your own Uber to get out of there. So next, high-vis vest is compulsory for everyone when crossing any road. It's part of our police permits. It's not negotiable. So we're doing random spot checks across the course at CP3, CP4, CP2 and CP6. Like everywhere we're checking mandatory gear. And there'll be a 2-hour time penalty if you don't have any of the mandatory gear on that, and you won't be allowed to move past that checkpoint if you don't have mandatory gear. It's definitely not foul weather, it's fantastic weather, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's a cup-free event, so make sure you do have your cups. And soups, Capra app, done. Okay, so every year people love getting lost at Eugurnia Circuit and Jolly's Lookout. So Eugurnia Circuit goes in an anti-clockwise direction and Eugurnia Circuit goes in a clockwise direction and Jolly's goes in an anti-clockwise direction. And we do that just to make sure that you are smart. It's a test. Okay, so standpipe brake, double brake is your turnaround point for the 110K. Every year, people love going straight down Township brake and missing out standpipe brake. So please don't do that. We will add 2 hours onto your time. So Colgan Circuit is notorious for getting demarked, and that one also goes in a clockwise direction. We get rid of that. So be careful when you're watching for watch for cars when crossing the roads. Oh, for goodness sakes. Okay. And I think we're all good. I'm looking at this. Okay. Yep. Don't forget that we've got the bar open from 4 until 10 p.m. and I think that's the most important part. Done. Okay. I would like to invite two guests up, and that's Patricia and Ben, to come and answer any questions that you have about the course. Come on down. Cool. Yay! Got through the boring safety briefing, but it's important. Cool. Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask? Yeah. No? Okay. I will ask Ben first. Okay, Ben. What is your strategy for getting your high-vis vest out of your pack and on fast so it's not annoying?
Well, my pack has a little back pocket which you can easily access with one hand, so I'm just going to have it sitting in there. So as soon as coming up to a road crossing, just whip it out, on it goes. Whether I put it back after that, because in the 30K we've got a few in short succession, or might put it back in for the several K after that. We'll see how I feel.
Awesome. So it's not really that arduous, is it now?
I mean, that's really not that difficult. I can do it all day.
Excellent. So everyone's going to wear the high-vis vest. Fantastic. So Patricia, do you have any funny tips about, you're going to be on go, you've done the 60K before, and then you're doing the 60K again. What do you think about Black Cockatoo, and how are you what's your strategy for getting through the tree branches?
Black Cockatoo is the very overgrown section, I imagine. Yeah. Oh, look, just push forwards. Try not to fall over and get down to the bottom. I don't have too many specific tips. Sorry.
So, do you have, okay, I know that you've had some issues with your nutrition in the past, and so sometimes people do feel sick when they're out on the trail. So, what's your best tip for getting through that sickness?
Yeah, look, like you said, I tend to have moments in races that I need to get through. I usually have something as a backup. So I have my main nutrition plan and then I have a backup nutrition plan. So maybe something like a dried cracker or something that's a little bit easier to get in rather than the sweet gels if I'm feeling like the gels aren't working for me, or I just have a little break. So sometimes I have a plan where I think, oh, okay, every 30 minutes I need to take on these things, and then it doesn't work out. So I just say, okay, we're just having a little break. And then once the stomach settles, I start to slowly try and get it back in again rather than worrying about the plan.
It sounds awesome. Okay, Ben, you have probably got the most crowns for descents, right, around this region. You're pretty cool. Like, let's face it, you're an absolute speed demon on descents. What is your biggest tip for descending?
Really, it's just about no fear that you're sort of just trying to break as little as possible. I try to imagine, especially going down a steep descent, imagine rolling a tennis ball down, and it's going to be really hard to keep up, but that ball is doing literally no work. It's all gravity. So you're just trying to be like the ball. Let gravity do the work and don't fight against it.
Okay, so you're an awesome descender, but you're an amazing climber as well, because you don't get to where you are without being able to climb. So what is your tips for climbing?
There is about just trying to find a nice steady gear that if you're running, then it's sort of shorter strides, just trying to keep a nice sort of running rhythm and don't think too much about how far it is to go. If it's switching more to power hiking, then I'm thinking more about taking long, powerful strides.
That's awesome. So what are you most looking forward to tomorrow, Patricia?
Oh, I'm looking forward to, it's going to be a beautiful day. Weather looks great. Looking forward to a varied course and the finish line. Yeah, sounds pretty good.
So, Ben, what do you think about the course change for the 30?
I mean, it's a step down in distance for me since I run a lot of ultras. So the fact that it's sort of 5K longer, I think if anything, that works well for me.
That's awesome. Hey, look, I'll let you guys all get going because I know you want to eat and sleep and look after yourself. But thank you so much for taking the time to come out for this. Okay, thank you. Yay. Done. Woo. Okay.